unannounced. And I saw that. Someone hinted me that this was what was going on. I came again unannounced. I saw that and I said, why? She was like, yeah, he doesn't, he's bigger than the other children and all of that. I said, no, it doesn't matter. You can even put him behind, but not to be far from them. Eventually, she listened. Today, my child meets up with he meets up in the class with other children. He does everything others are doing. So that's it.
Okay, I think it's better. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing. That is direct, but there's a level of direct that you have gone into. If you go back to that slide, what will we call that one now? Okay, direct. Yes, it is direct. There's a sub-direct to that. Okay, so it was interpersonal. Because I could do direct. I'm talking to a whole bunch of people, National Assembly. I'm putting my position paper, blah blah. That's direct. But then it's this honor interpersonal. So it's like you meeting Tinubu in the elevator and just saying, "Excuse me, sir, this is the issue." So it was a one personal engagement, and it's very effective, but also could be very difficult because you could be very tricky. They pretend they are with you. The next time you're not seeing them again and all of that. So well done, ma'am. That was very good that you shared that, and your resilient or your push really gave the result. So you see, in all kinds of engagement, you must have a clear objective and the intended outcome. Otherwise, you are not engaging. So thank you. I'll move to the other. Yeah.
Yes. So do I need to mention my name? No. So I work with Down Syndrome Foundation Nigeria. A few years ago, we thought it very important to start engaging with our local governments where we are present. So we started where we are. The local government in Lagos is a Ifakoija local government. That is that was about 6 years ago, this present administration. We started engaging. Surprisingly, we were able to make progress to the point that the local governments have now recognized us. Whenever Down Syndrome Foundation goes, most of our awareness, more like now, they organize, mobilize school to participate in inter-house sports with us. Even for our awareness work, we do month of October is always awareness. The chairman himself and his entire cabinet is mandated for them to join us for the awareness work anytime we are going. And we also notice that during our part of our advocacy month, this is the month of October, they always we do medical outreach and other. Every year, at least I know for the past 4 years, they will sponsor. They will give us doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, therapists, speech for, the local government takes that upon itself to sponsor that, support us in that. So it is one places. And we now notice that recently, like last year and even this year, other local government local governments around the Fakoija, like Ujodu, like they will now want to key in because I think they saw the publicity and they saw that, oh wow, they are now using it as a this person is doing so for persons with this intellectual disability.
Okay.
Some of them are even now writing, oh, they want to come and do this. Oh, what do you have? They want to do this and that.
Okay, so
for persons with intellectual disability.
Thank you so much. Sorry to jump in because I want others to speak. So that we ask you now. Okay. You engage with the local government. What was your ask?
Our ask initially when we started was for healthcare.
Okay.
We wanted.
Your ask was for healthcare.
Inclusive healthcare.
Inclusive healthcare.
Yes.
So when there are outreaches, you wanted people with intellectual disabilities to benefit from those outreaches?
Apart from benefit, we wanted in the local government, in the primary healthcare centers, for us to be given priority and possibly, free access to this.
So you're still a beneficiary. So So why I'm asking is because you started by saying, you know, that was a wonderful intervention that you did, but the ask must be clear, because in all of the engagements we return to the ask. So why did we even engage in the first place? Was it met? You know, and if your ask was not met, you might need to change strategy.
Okay.
So no, I'm not putting you on the spot. I just wanted to be sure of the ask, and now I can see how the story now became, you know, like other people.
And we have been adding
awareness.
acts. We did
Excuse me.
I say we have. I don't want to. We have been adding axes. Like
No, it's okay. I just wanted to be here. Please, there's this young man beside you. He's been raising his hand. Yes, please. Yes, please. It's your turn.
My name is Ayola.
Yes, please. Eniola, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so I saw you raising your hand, and so that's. Thank you so much for even speaking and calling your name. These are the kinds of intervention that I want, and I've heard your voice. And if there's anything you want to say, please go ahead and say. We're all listening.
Do.
Okay. Yes.
say he likes Davido.
He likes Davido. Fantastic. So we now have an influencer. No, please just put it down. It means one of our outcome from this workshop is to look for Davido and bring him in as one of our change champions. All right, please, let's mark it down. Hello? Did we get it? These are the kinds of facilitation that I like to see. And then Yola, thank you so much for speaking. Yes, please. For speaking, and that was very nice. Was there anything that you did? Yeah. It's your, yes.
For my name is Maxwell.
Okay.
I think I'm audible enough, right?
Because of the.
Thank you. So there are a lot of advocacy we've carried out in the process, right? But the one that comes to mind was the National Action Plan on WASH when it was drafted in 2018.
So which is your cluster? Because I'm getting to know table by table. Yes.
Intellectual cluster.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we noticed that there was no inclusion when it comes to that action plan. Mm-hmm. You know, there was no proper engagement. Mm-hmm. People living with disability, different aspects of disability were not included in that draft and engagement. Right. Then that was pursued, and after the deliberate conversations, setting up meetings with Ministry of Federal Ministry of Water Resources, UNICEF, and co. You understand? Then they formed the National Task Group on Sanitation, where they now included people living with disability, and that was redone in 2021, where the National Action Plan now captures both provision of water, sanitation, and hygiene for people living with disability.
What did you say was your name?
Maxwell.
Maxwell, thank you so much for sharing. But in this kind of class, we are very careful about language register, so I will not wait until another time. I will ask you as advocate, language is very important. So they are not people living with disability, people with disabilities, okay? We keep sticking to the CROPD Article 1, all right? So your ask was inclusive WASH. And now you are happy you are at the table. So it's now for you to use that space. Because one thing that we need to do is that when we infiltrate, or when we, yes, at times we infiltrate, at times we push to open up the space. Once we assume those spaces, we must, as a matter of utilize the space. So well done. So what kind of engagement was that? It was direct. So no one has done indirect so far. Okay, now, then I'll come. Yes. Okay, so we'll come to this table back and we'll just end because I have just a few. Yes, please.
So for my organization, the Engrace ones, we usually have a cerebral palsy walk every year to celebrate the World Cerebral Palsy Day. And we use that medium to advocate for persons living with cerebral palsy. We usually meet with stakeholders, government officials, and I'm just going to speak in on the one we did last year. Before we actually did Cerebral Palsy Walk Day, we did a ring a bell campaign where we meet with organization, National Commission of Persons with Disability, and our ask was vocational training for an empowerment for persons with disability. Through the Ring a Bell campaign and our cerebral palsy work, we were able to get equipment for persons living with disability.
Again?
Yes.
Persons living with disability again?
Individuals with
no, persons with disability. This is where we learn it. Like I said, it's a safe space.
Yeah.
We keep learning and learning. It used to be correct 30 years ago. The language registers in the community keep changing. And if you're not fast at it, before you know. So thank you, sister. I can hear you. So I got the gist of your matter. What kind of engagement were those?
Direct.
Was it?
Indirect.
Yes, it's a combination. You did a very wonderful. So it's not just direct. You were doing campaigns, right?
Yes.
You did. Those are indirect engagement. Okay. So it's good that I got that from you. Now, thank you so much for sharing. So this will be the last time we'll begin because I've got like 5 minutes to go. Yes, please. Back to you. Yes. Please, so that I can move on. It's a long slide.
So last year, Nigeria National Association for the Deaf organized a summit. So first we look at the different level. We look at different states which have small influence, and we look at Abuja, and we notice that there are many influencers in Abuja, so that can influence decision. So we organize a rally from National Human Rights Commission to National Assembly. But before that, we finished planning our speech, what we wanted to get, and what we want them to help us achieve. When we arrived at the National Assembly, we hand over our speech to them, and we told them our need, our request. After that, the next day, we had our conference. So those people that are there that got our letter came for our conference, and that gave us opportunity for advocacy. So what we tried to achieve was that recognition of Nigeria Sign Language, and which is still in progress, and we had a lot of promises. This is the type of what we have done. I think it is both direct and indirect.
Thank you so much. You have spoken before. Please, Martha, I will come back to you because you spoke before the next round. No, they've given indirect now. Now, Martha, thank you for. I know you wanted to give me an example of indirect, but we have two colleagues who have shared on indirect now. People have shared enough of direct. I was looking for indirect. So now I've gotten those two indirect. Thank you so much, Martha, for your effective participation. We are still going around. We'll come down. So thank you so much. You see that you had different kinds of engagement, direct and indirect, or combination. So please, could you kindly. Okay, so that exercise, was it useful? Hello, that exercise, was it useful? We are learning together. There is nothing so difficult in this thing. I think we are gathered here because we needed to remind ourselves of what we are doing and exchange ideas. Okay, let's move to the next slide, please. So, the strategies for direct engagement, we just spoken about this. Meeting with policy makers, participation in public hearing, submission of memorandums and policy brief, building long-term relationship. This is something we have all discussed. So it's like telling you what you already know. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So, you remember I told us at the beginning of this interaction that you cannot be engaging if you don't have that content. And everyone that has shared today is because they are driven by an ask. they want to see an outcome, there's a change they want to see, and all of that. Based on that, they were able to push. So what I have here now is direct engagement, kinds of direct engagement. Me, I prefer to interact with infographics, and this is all that we have said. It's just a summary of what we have been discussing. Meeting with direct decision makers, that's an example of direct engagement. Policy submission is an example of direct engagement. Public hearing and consultation, direct engagement. Relationship building. Honestly, if you don't have good relationship, your advocacy will scatter. So you must, yes, you must know how to build long-term relationship so that you can map influencers. You have change agent, influencer. These are all kinds of people that will help you drive your advocacy. If you are so powerful an individual, it gets to a point you need to mobilize people to even join you in the conversation. So how we put across our messages is also very important in terms of direct engagement. Okay? And I give you a typical example, like maybe going to the government, and maybe let's say we are talking about employment now, and maybe one group would have gone maybe to Minister of Labor and say, we are community of persons with disability. We notice you are discriminating against us in employment. You don't give us jobs. You have never advertised. We will not take this nonsense again from you. You're such a wicked bunch of people. We are tired of all of you here that you don't even know. In fact, tomorrow you must be disabled. Hold that message. It did happen. It's not funny. Those messages have come true before. Yes, you have a wonderful ask, but your presentation is so horrible. You cannot intimidate, harass, and bully people with your request. That one is gone. However, you can be very firm in your acts and very innovative in your approach. And another set is going to the same Minister of Labor to say, Minister of Labor, we are blah, 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 ex-advocates. And from our findings, we have seen that the Ministry of Labor had recruited like maybe 2,000 youths in the last 5 years. And we have observed that from these 2,000 youths, we can't find anybody with a disability, no youth with a disability. Or maybe we saw that it's only 1% of the youth with disability that have been engaged. Honorable Minister, sir, we like to let you know that we are very resourceful, very intelligent. I have my degree. I did this. Minister, you are missing a lot for living at a whole 15% of your population. Imagine what that will do to your ministry. If you want to use a personal role model, I am a lawyer by profession. I've won 50 cases. You cannot leave this population because you will be losing. We have so much to contribute to your ministry to make Nigeria grow. So why are you not including us? Okay, if there are barriers, we know how to help you remove those barriers. For instance, you are saying, how can a blind man work in my office? Sir, we have what we call JAWS, or a software in computers. When installed into the computer, the blind man can work like sighted people. Did you see what you are missing, Honorable Minister, for leaving behind a whole 15% of your population? This would have helped you to succeed as a minister. Did we get those two messages? Now, the bottom line is that youth with disabilities have not been employed. So your mode of engagement is very, very important. And you would have researched the audience you are engaging, or the institution, or the person you are engaging. So I think that is the other part of engagement that needs to take further. Now you know kinds of engagement, you've done all kinds of engagement. How are you engaging? Okay, how are you engaging? So I talked about elevator speech the other time, and maybe you just met President Tinubu, and you say, hey, but your own is too much in this country. You have done, and that is, you have just less than 60 seconds to engage. And another person will meet President Tinubu in the elevator. He's very angry. Maybe he doesn't even like Tinubu. Will say, hey, Baba, we hail you. Kai, our wonderful president, our honorable president. You have tried so much. But, Baba, you have left us out. You've not even considered us. This is it. This is it. Who will he listen to? I think that is how we need to begin to unlearn. Engagement is very easy, but the innovation and how you engage people. See where politicians can be very smart when it comes to something like, you are the one that wants something. So you must study the person you are going to engage, the institution and all of that. Imagine if you had gone to former USAID and you are writing a proposal and you are saying, we want like $50,000 because we want to carry out a lobbying engagement for the bill. Zero. You won't get that funding. Your own is finished. You will never get it. Why? Because you didn't do your background search. No research, no nothing. If you had done your background search, it would have occurred to you that USAID does not give money for lobbying. You will change the name to another thing. USAID, thank you for all the wonderful work you've been doing. In fact, in my village, your impact of your program is 1,000%. However, in that your program, there's something that you missed out. We want to do advocacy to bring this thing back. USAID is a wonderful. Okay, let's hear what is that proposal. I think that is where we need to learn, not even the method of engagement, the how of the engagement. There's no, you can't bully and intimidate people because you want something. At times, we do direct action. We no go agree, we no go agree. Forget all this direct action you see in the night. We still go back to say, hey, honorable, you saw us to do something. No? We have finished the main, I no go agree. I no go agree for who? So what is happening is that you must have a combination of those skills, and it takes a lot of effective communication and the messaging. I told us before, the message is as good as the messenger. You can have a very wonderful message. Bad messenger will scatter your matter. So be mindful of who you put in front or who speaks on behalf of you. Or you would have been trained enough to move forward. So now that we got direct engagement and we know what it is, we've seen them around the table, one-on-one, all of that. And this is what we've said before. Please, sir, could you help me? Next slide. So indirect engagement strategy. So you see, media advocacy and communication, grassroots mobilization, social media, all of this we are doing. But one thing that we have not been able to do, which I think this project can also take forward, is strategic storytelling for advocacy. Nobody, donors are tired of all the big grammar now. Donors want it sharp, clear, and direct. So the act of storytelling to push for advocacy messages or push out is what is coming up now. So I think it's what we need to look at very strategically, okay? All of this, I cannot, we blog every day. Also, some of us on TikTok. The sister behind one says that on her DP, you will find her profile, she's a self-advocate. You see all of those. Those are social media and digital advocacy as it is. So they know you for whom you are, the kind of advocate that you are, and the messages that you need to take forward. Please, next slide. So, in the course of our storytelling or conversation, we have already mentioned this. Informal and formal lobbying, inside and outside strategy, issue-based and relationship. All of these are just language registers. It's something that we have been talking about. These are the concepts and approaches, except if you want to use it for the purpose of training. But otherwise, this is all we have done. Can somebody give me an example of issue-based approach? In terms of engagement, we all said something around there now. Okay, if we are, so that I think this lunch is getting near and our sugar level might be low. So let me move forward. Issue-based is what NNAD talked about. Their issue is that they want sign language as a official language of Nigeria. That's issue-based, and they just want it happening and all of that. So just an example. There's so many issue-based. One talked about inclusive wash. That's issue-based and all of that. Please, let's move on. So, the formal lobbying in this context is policy. Those are the same things that we have said, which is you are presenting position paper, you are seeing each other. This is a very structured kinds of this thing. And while informal is through personal relationship. So me, I know the Senate president, for example. Okay? And I'm leveraging on my relationship with the Senate President to deliver something for my community. Do we get that now? So it can be formal, can be informal. Formal lobbying, we do dinner, we won't call it lobbying. Everybody come and eat and be happy. When they are laughing, in the midst of their laughter, ladies and gentlemen, please can you just give me 2 minutes to make an yeah, thank you so much. I hope you are enjoying your dinner and I hope the evening is going well. As we eat this dinner, it is very important that we remember that the disability law is yet to be passed, and you don't just say it's yet to be passed. So why? You'll be talking of value added. So if it's not passed, so what? Of what you say, hey, if it's not passed, what is it? We fought for it for 17 years. Nobody answered us until it happened. So when you're talking, you're appealing to their consciences and said, okay, you're enjoying your dinner. You see, if you look around, a lot of us, 15%, over 30 million or 35 million of persons with disabilities are yet to have formal rights. And I hope that you will think of this. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we are politicians here. Imagine what 30 million votes will do for you in election. And in those days, I used to tell them, there's nothing like a disabled vote. Oh, you agree with me, eh? That was what I used in 20 years, 15 years ago. I'll tell politicians, you know what? You want to win, engage us. And that's when we do our charter of demand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's not that every local government have their charter of demand. Look, there's nothing like disabled vote. A vote is a vote, isn't it? Then do what? Hey, they see them running after us. Oh, how are you? Come. They listened to us that time. And you remember when the law was passed, was during election, isn't it? Then you take strategically. The timing is very important. It's not all this one. So strategic engagement. You're saying, so, you know, in my villages, as I speak with you, then I was president of the association. I would say I lead over 30 million persons with disability in this country, and we can deliver a president. Oh, yes. And imagine if all of us went in a particular direction with a political party. Nobody, you will win. And so what is entry is their interest. So what is the value added? The value added in the conversation. Well, politicians are not emotional people. You don't have your time. They're looking at the interest. So why don't you also research that kind of interest and catch on the momentum? Hello? So as advocates and those who are supposed to engage, we are supposed to build our content, get ready for this thing. You have to also be that politician and know when to engage, how to engage, why, and all of that. Okay, I hope that we got those formal and informal lobbying and those that haven't been. So can we move to the next slide, please? So this one is inside and outside strategy, means influencing from within the system, engaging decision maker directly, while outside is using public pressure to influence. So I gave you an example of him using influencing within the system by engaging decision maker directly. So you have come now, you have delivered your opposition paper, all those things direct, and you have had technical meeting, all the grammar. Then what of the outside lobbying? You use public pressure. So this could be like campaigns and all of that, mobilization and civil society action. But even this outside, they are still within outside. Remember when we looked at the types of engagement, there was an overlap. Can you remember that graphics? So many things will be overlapping. So it's not just a one size fits all. So if you do outside and inside, what of those that you can pick up the phone and call and all of that? Please can we move to the next slide? So I talked about issue-based relationship approach. So this focuses on specific issue and a political reform, relationship-based. So it's the same thing like I talked about, like the disability bill was straight. We're not saying life of person with, no, we just straight. Is the law is the law. Whatever we contain in the law, we answer the other question. It could also be some affirmative action, like women are shouting and reserve seats. That's direct. We want more seats. And it is also time for people with disabilities to start shouting of reserve seats. Affirmative action. It happens in Uganda, Tanzania, everywhere. Anyway, so let's move to the next slide. Please, the next slide. So your audience. So you look at the kinds of audience and you tailor your message to the kind. I've talked about this. There's want of repeating myself. You can't be going to engage when you've not researched the audience. I gave us a very terrible example of going to USAID asking for $50,000 to do lobbying. because you didn't research. So please research your audience, research the institution, and see how your acts will add value to their overall strategic objective. Every organization has got their goals, and not until your acts is feeding into their goal, honestly, they will listen to you, and emotion as you turn your back is finished. So you must also be researching who. And even if it's politicians, I just told you how we told them there's no disabled vote. So it means that, we are also, our interest is now their interest. Okay? So you cannot do good engagement if you don't have all of this. You must also look at the timing. I told you our disability bill was signed into law during the political era. What's a fantastic timing. If we had missed that opportunity, nothing for us. Okay? So please, next slide. These are just the consideration that you must put in place. So you're looking at understanding the policy as it were. So in terms of the laws regulating lobbies, their settings, I just talked of USA, that's one part of it. There must be transparency, you must have disclosure, you must have ethical standard and all of that. And apart from that, let me even go above this to say that if you are fighting or doing an engagement, please also research the legal perspective from it, like the constitutional backing. It gives a teeth to bite. If it gives you already have all of this in the constitution, and you need to say, okay, by our constitution, but there are also laws guiding all of this. Please, can we go to the next slide? No, the other slide. So I think we're wrapping up now. You need to combine all of this. I've said this, that you need to, your strategy is very important. You must have context sensitive. You can also grasp on, play on their emotions, if that will help you. But you must do it in such a way from the point of strength. The mistake that most of us, we engage during engagement is that we whip too much emotions. We say, you see, we people with disability, you are not carrying us along. Carry you to where? Carry you to where now? You are not talking of the value you want to add. Carry me along. You have not said anything. Okay? So we must, as a matter of fact, be very sensitive and use an inclusive approach. When we are engaging, we must also know the value add to the person that we are engaging, or the institution we are engaging to. So you must be combining direct and indirect advocacy strategy. All of them works, and that is where you have the overlap. And coalition-based engagement, one person cannot talk. Amplification of voices, that is where the strength lies in this kind of engagement. Amplification of voices. Only one shout, who will hear you? But when you are many, you are all going in the same direction. It's very important. So you build coalition around your issues of engagement. Mobilize, recruit. And Yola just told us now that he wants Davido on this advocacy. We'll map Davido as an influencer and make sure that we'll get him to add his voice to what it is now. Please, next slide. So, negotiation and persuasion tending, that is all I've said. I told you about negotiation. So negotiation is that you give me this, I give you that. Persuasion is getting you to buy into my system. And I said all of that. When I said about the dinner, and I'm saying, I'm persuading them with our numerical strength, saying there were over 30 million persons with disability. As politicians, if you don't listen to us, it's your loss. So you must be negotiating from the point of strength. Please, next. I hope I'm done. Okay, so clearly I talked about communication here is very important. Honestly, without communication does not mean blowing big grammar that you cannot unpack. It just means straight and say, we are here, this is what we want. If you give us this is the value added. So clear communication and influence, I will give you about the clean change. So let's see, I hope I'm rounding off now. Yes, let me see. So this is a long one. Please keep going. Let me see how much of this slide is left, because I need to. Okay, summary and take away. Okay, let me see the other end of the slide. Let me see. Fantastic. So please go back 2 steps backwards. Fantastic. So we're almost there. 5 minutes, this is over. But we cannot go without doing a tiny exercise again, meeting the decision maker, advocate and policy maker. So we've said all of this. I really need someone. I use my sexual and reproductive health and rights because where my expertise lies, but I really want us to volunteer. It's just a 2 minutes role play. One would be the advocate, the other one will be the policy maker. And I need you to go speak to the advocate on an issue that's a burning issue. It's 2 minutes role play. Any volunteer here? Who wants to volunteer to be the policy maker? You want to be the advocate? Please, can I have a policy maker? We have an advocate, a policy maker. You want to be the policy maker? Okay, she's already signifying to me. You want to be a policy maker? Oh, fantastic. Please just bring your chair. Please, both of you do this in 2 minutes. And let's see, the class will judge what kind of how it goes, rather not like we are marking down. Please, 2 minutes and we are done. Who is the policy maker? Fantastic. Yes, please. Okay. So you are the policy maker, and you will sit now. You are the big man now. Okay, you are the Fantastic.
Okay. This is working already.
So, no, let her come. You interpret. Okay, so maybe you go this way. Okay, maybe you go this way. Okay, you want to stand there, fine. So you are the advocate. Wait. You are the advocate. And she's the policy maker. So you need to tell her why you have come. So she will respond. Let's see how you. Why have you come to the policy maker? What are the issues you brought?
Our able leader, the good change maker, we appreciate all what you are doing for us in Nigeria. We recognize your influence. We love you very much. Well done, sir. Well done, ma. But ma, you have been leaving one cluster behind. That is deaf community. In all the policies, our language is not recognized. People see it as maybe we are dancing acrobatically. Ma, please, we will be happy if you help us to carry us along, to help us to make sure that our language is recognized and policies are amended so that our language can be respected with other language, so that we can belong to the community together.
Okay, thank you for what you have said. You know, our government, we have been trying. We have been doing a lot of things. Yes. Even this one you say that we have been the government, we have raised budgets. But now that you said it, you know, I'm going to take it back to my executive council. We look at it and we see how we'll be able to do some of these things, you know. But I assure you, in our budget, it's already captured. But you know, that is how we work. I do not know if your people, or maybe you people can write us a proposal. Let's look at it. Let's set up a committee. We set up a committee to give us a white paper on it, and we look at it.
Thank you very much. Please. Okay. Are you a government worker?
Just a lawyer, small
Okay.
lawyer, and drama queen.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much. But did we take anything from there? Let's go to the next slide. Please, the final slide. That is where we'll now do interaction, then close. That was very interesting, I must tell you. You're a very fast learner. Thank you so much, advocate. Thank you, policy maker. So, we can see the way it went, meaning that we are learning very fast. So the advocate did not go to say, you, this government, we are very wicked. We are tired of you. You did not do anything. Did you see that there's a strategy, there's a change in strategy? Before now, 15, 20 years ago, they used to see us as agitators. That is a labeling, don't mind them. Everybody gets angry. So there's this stereotype, angry people, because we were also being very frustrated. They weren't listening, but now we have another strategy to get them to listen. Okay, so we can see they will not push you backward, but you see the kind of change that we'll see. So I think the summary and takeaway from here would be engage smartly, use direct and indirect strategies to influence decision makers, target and tailor. This is knowing your audience. So when the advocate went to the policy maker, he already knew it was before a policy maker. He started by praising her. Able policy maker, our honorable, you have been wonderful. Thank you for the good work that you are doing. That is the language, okay? So even if he hasn't done anything in the local government, thank him very well for the good work that he's doing. Be ethical and transparent. So follow laws. I think you have the good teeth to bite if you can draw it for existing laws, policies, accountability, responsibility. You could say, sir, you passed a law on maternal health last week. Very good thing you have done. Maternal health is smart. But within this maternal health law, we are seeing a small gap. I can't find myself in the law and how I'll be able to enjoy the law on equal basis with others. Okay? Now, communicate and persuade. So when you communicate like the advocate, I say, please. He said, please, can you help us? Excuse me. He said, please, can you help us? So that's persuasion, okay? And use clear messages, storytelling, negotiation, and listening skills. I started my presentation by telling you a small story of how we fought for the disability law. All I was trying to do was to make you see modes of engagement. You saw direct, indirect, all the things that we did. And that's all that we have just succeeded in doing. Please, let's go to the next slide. So at this point, I want to thank you so very much for being a wonderful, fantastic, good participant. And I must tell you that I enjoyed my facilitation because you gave me the cooperation. I said there was nothing like teacher to nobody knows everything, that we're all going to learn together. So I hope that my personal expectation of us learning together has been achieved. All right, so I will take a break or stop for now and ask if there's any question or reflection, one or two. Lunch is being served. Lunch is being served. So I'm asking, is there any question or reflection, any burning issue? Or did you just get everything and you don't need any further? Hello? This is the final slide. Any question or reflection? Okay, yes, please, you.
Nigeria signed UNCPRD. So, in that 2006, when Nigeria was invited to go and sign that UNCPRD, was it government itself or people with disability who went there to sign that law?
Okay, thank you so much for asking that. You know, every country has a representative to the United Nations. Okay? It's not as if we all flew down from Nigeria to New York at the UN to sign this. May her soul rest in peace. Do we know Professor Joy Ogu? She's recently passed. She was the Nigerian representative to United Nations. In the United Nations, you have countries, everybody there representing their countries. So at that time, it was Professor Joy Ogu, who was then our representative to United Nations, that signed on our behalf. So it's as good as the Nigerian government. That's the Nigerian government in New York, okay? It was a government thing. Is it clear? Just to let you know that every country has their own, every country has representative. It mustn't necessarily be a person with disability. It's a government. It's a government. Anyway, you have one more question? Okay. Okay. Okay.
So let's say they have their interest, we have ours, and they've been able to meet their part of the bargain. Are we compelled to actually ensure that we actually meet our own part of the bargain?
Of voting for them.
Of voting for them, yes.
That is where the politics come. It's lobbying. Who will see you when you are voting? Do we see them? So it is a persuasion mechanism. You must be peaceful and graceful and have good enough. You are persuading. Whether you are going to, it's value added. Okay? What we are saying is that it's about to happen. You are a politician. I'm telling you that, look, we are people with psychosocial disability. We represent maybe 2 million of the population. And we are Nigerian citizens entitled to whatever rights that any other person would have. We are a huge resource. We can contribute to development. We are electorate. We have rights to live. I mean, sir, have you considered that we can also, we have the political strength, the numerical strength to bring in any government? You're not telling him I'm voting for you. You are telling, you're marketing yourself. You are marketing yourself from your numerical strength to say, look, I'm of relevance. And if you do this, you're not saying if you do this, I'll do this for you. No, you are marketing yourself. He will pick it in between the lines, okay? But it is not a bad thing if we now identify someone who is very sincere and can carry out good governance on our behalf. Why wouldn't we vote such a person into power? We've got the strength. So it's not like you do for me, I do for you. No, but it's a persuasion mechanism. So when you are doing it, be careful not to rope yourself. Just be very nice about the conversation and choose your language register very wisely so that it will be graceful. Nobody comes to say, I don't know if you know. But is that all? Are you clear? If that is the end, I want to thank you so very much. Please a round of applause for yourself again, and thank you so much. I hope that you have a good lunch. Sadat, I'm done, so maybe you want any logistic or whatever information you need to give. So thank you so very much.
Hello, everyone. I hope we are getting along. And this training is participatory. So we expect that everybody is carried along. But peradventure, there are other methods you could have preferred. You may let us know so that as the training progresses, we'll incorporate such aspects. So if you have any suggestion, you may let us know. Otherwise, in the next 3 minutes, we'll be going for lunch. We'll take our lunch. Sorry, we didn't take our lunch at the expected time because of the delayed tea break and packed sessions. So we apologize for that. Again, if you have not submitted your pre-test, would want you to complete it and submit it. It is going to help us to assess you properly and know those who may need additional makeup classes. Our target is that everyone has improved skill on advocacy and disability knowledge. So you help us fill those questions. Let us use it to gauge what you know now. As the training progresses, we will also administer it to know whether you have improved or not, and whether there are special training we may need to organize for you to be able to balance the knowledge acquisition. Thank you, and you're welcome.